Alright, I'm down to maybe the last bolt, I'm not sure. The last one I pulled off was not a VMAX motor, it was just a L40. It got sunk. We decided to pull everything apart. Make sure it was not pickled, we were just cleaning everything out. As you can see, everything's clean, there's no dirt. I mean, everything on the map sensors were excellent clean. Unless they renamed it. I call this the VST. I had a friend that had a Tohatsu and they still used the Honda engines, and he let it sit with gas in it for, I know, 5-6 years. He said, hey, let's try to crank my boat. And it would crank, idle, would not take the fuel whatsoever. So we're not going to do that on this one. We're not going to jump the gun and try to crank something. We're going to go ahead and clean it before we send all that bad fuel. And I'm sure that it's not treated, because you can smell it, and I'm sure that it was not non-ethanol. I'm sure it's got some ethanol in it, because when I pulled this screw, I mean, it was tarnished like pine resin. It was sticky. So all this, you got quite a few bolts. I hadn't counted them yet. Like I said, I hadn't never pulled one off of VMAX. SHO. You got a bunch of hoses and wires. I mean, they're all common sense. You got high pressure, low pressure. You got feed, just a few wires. Nothing major. We'll take it off. We'll probably just lean it back, pull these top screws out, and I'm gonna have to probably go in through the book and look, and I don't want to get into this right here too much. I'm sure there's going to be some filters in here in these housings. Fuel pressure regulator, looks to me. Like I said, I'm not no outboard technician whatsoever, so don't take this as I'm going to teach anybody how to rebuild a SHO Yamaha, because that's not what it is. This was just a basic maintenance turned into a VST cleaning, and I figured I'd try to get a little video, since not very often you get to see one of these come apart and see what's inside of them. When I get it unhooked, I pull the top off and let y'all see what's in the inside of it. We're going to check the high pressure, low pressure fuel pumps, the filters, everything, clean it out, put it all back together. Before we do, we're going to pull the injectors, clean them. Like I said, there's no carbon. I wish I could get in there where y'all can see it. The valves are like just out of the machine shop clean. Super clean engine. I done broke these loose. I like to break them loose with a ratchet, not an impact. I don't want to break nothing. But what I'm going to show you that I like to do, this ain't an impact. This is just a DeWalt drill. That is a 1/4 inch extension. If it's too tight to turn, it's going to slip right there. It's not going to hammer. It's not going to jar and break stuff loose. Now you can set your clutch on here so that it'll hit a little bit, but I mainly just use them for speed. No impact, no hammering. A lot of people will get out there Milwaukee, little impact, and just start hitting away on stuff. And I have on older motors, especially Johnson Evinrude. I like working on the Johnson Evinrude, but they're notorious about not using anti-seize on the stainless to aluminum. You start hitting them with an impact, and they will either gald or snap right off. So that's why I use the DeWalt, just the drilled. You know, I will get on the impact on some stuff, mainly not on boat motors. They're too expensive to be wringing bolts off. I don't know if you try to drill out a stainless steel bolt, but it is not fun. Just crack them loose in a steady pattern, good sequence. This right here, we're rubber mounted, so there wasn't too terribly tight. Now you start running into some of the other stuff, I had to loosen this and move it out the way. I mean, you can tell this thing is absolutely clean. I mean, that is original grease on everything. Like I said, I haven't never worked on these. Got the 24 model 150 Tohatsu. It's basic. I mean, it's fuel injected, but it's basic. This thing here, the throttle, has a positioning sensor right here to the throttle, and it just feeds the wire straight to the throttle body. So this motor is fly-by-wire capable on the throttle, at least. I mean, I wish mine had that, but mine's straight mechanical. It's pretty neat though. Just got your sending unit and your receiver here that tells your throttle body to open. All right, I'm gonna get this off and start pulling some screws out. We'll see just how bad it's gonna be. I hope it looks like the outside. I hope it's just as clean as everything here. Super duper clean. I mean, he was wanting to do an oil change. He said he's never even pulled the hood off of it when he bought it. He said it was absolute wreck. All this color right here, he said he didn't wash the inside of that lid. The whole boat was 10 times worse than that. My boat, I had added a T-top. We like to do snapper fishing. The T-top will save you in the sun, but it's an absolute nightmare when you're casting jigs for trout and flounders. So it's like he was in debating on what he wanted to do with his. If he wanted to do a bimini top, they're good for cruising, staying out of the sun, but you can let it back to fish. T-top, there's no letting it back. You're going to be trying to cast and you're going to get hung up. You're going to slap your new rod on your T-top. That's why I sit on the front of my boat, stand up on the very bow and cast. My wife, she likes to fish too. I'm not going to take my T-top out every year just to go trout fishing, so I just got to deal with it. I don't laugh at my vise. This thing's homemade. I made it probably 12, 13 years ago. It'll hold more than 90% of devices that you can buy, unless maybe you get a Wilton or something like that. But I'm going to show you, these teeth are not hardened teeth like on most vices. This right here is what I was going to show you. This is a piece of, I guess it's not vinyl, it's plastic. It's actually it's a material that I made my T-top, the canvas with. Couldn't decide if I want to use fabric, fiberglass. Couldn't decide. This is very durable stuff. I actually got me a hole punch set and punched holes around the perimeter after I cut it to fit my T-top and put rubber grommets in it. Anytime you clamping something, especially aluminum, these are most likely a cast aluminum. This is just hand tight. Just as tight as I can grab it with my left hand on these threads here and twist. Now, I haven't priced one of these, but I'm sure that they're $1,500 maybe. But I'm sure that's pretty close to it. So anytime you're working on one of these, find you a comfortable spot. You can't do it on the motor because getting to these screws, especially the ones in the back, right, this is the back, you can't get your screwdriver under there. Ain't no sense trying to fight it. Best way to take it off. Get you some cushion, some rubber, some cardboard, some Velcro gasket material, something to keep from scratching up the man's VST or busting it. Just do it hand tight. Just if you got, I don't have a lever on mine, just finger tight with your lever. All you're trying to do is hold it. You ain't trying to squeeze the guts out of it. I don't know if you've ever worked on a carburetor, which this one you can't really tell now because I literally done boogered it up, but it broke loose. Let me show you this one back here in the back. If you can, let me try to get zoomed in there. That dot, you see it right up there on the top. I think that's what they call a JIC screw. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, maybe not. It's a Japanese or JIS, Japanese. They use a different type of screwdriver, I guess. Every one of these are absolutely would not turn. I use good screwdriver. It's a little rusty. Good screwdriver. I tried that one. I had to resort to a flat screwdriver. Yes, it did have a groove for a flat screwdriver. On these corners, they don't go all the way. I'm holding a lot of pressure on it right there. It slipped right out. So, give it a couple taps, and it'll come right out. I almost, this one right here, almost rounded it off. It's kind of scratchy. I polished it up with some sandpaper. That one, 2 taps, twisted right out. That one, 2 taps, twisted right out. That one, I'm going to clean it back up. It's not as bad as what it looks in the video. I'm probably ordering a new screw. I'm ordering a whole bunch of stuff for this thing. Just words of wisdom. You see these dots. It's a Japanese screw. It takes a special, not a number 2. Number 2 is not designed to fit that screw. It don't even feel like a good fit. See, it twists right out. It won't bite. It's apart. It's not looking good. I'm sure the fuel pump is still good. The float switch. These things work like a carburetor with a bowl on it and a miniature fuel tank. The float just stops whenever the VST gets full. It just shuts the flow off just like on a carburetor. And this high pressure up to the fuel injectors. So it's just like a miniature fuel tank VST. There was some water whenever, I don't know if you can really, that's water. And tarnish, varnish, gunk. So I'm going to do some serious cleaning. Anytime I pull stuff apart and I see something unusual, I take pictures, show the customers. Not that I'm just, I'm going to tear your VST apart, because I think that it might be bad. If I smell bad gas and look, I'm going to take videos and pictures to show the customer what we're dealing with. So when he gets it back and there is, for some reason, running like crap, Well, you know, we had some major water varnish issue. Not really say cover my butt, I'm just showing him how serious it is. So that's the screw that I was taking loose earlier. I was telling you how to use the shop vac to get out. So undoubtedly it was full of that varnish. When I loosen that screw, it just drains out. It would not come out. I sucked it completely out with my shop vac. And this motor was trimmed up. So it was trimmed up this way. So it wasn't completely full of fuel. So I try to keep mine trimmed down. So if it's up and it's full of fuel, sometimes they're not always completely full. All that varnish is not getting up on your float. I like to keep mine trimmed down when it's not in use. Probably gonna get a new pump. Most of that is off of there. Pretty bad shape. I touched that just to see, and it absolutely is just falling apart. I bet you if I would have turned that key over, that every bit of that would have went in the injectors. Got to talk to the customer and see how far he wants to go. That's why I hate whenever they say do whatever it takes. So if I would have just started ordering these parts, and then whenever he got his bill, he probably wouldn't be very happy. I'm sure that he's going to say go ahead and just get a new fuel pump. That right there, if you would have fired that up, every bit of that would have been in that pump. It would have been having some issues. It would have made its way up to the injectors. That's why anytime one's been sitting for a long time, before you start winding and checking, I know the first thing you do is on the motor unknown, check compression. I like to make sure, especially fuel injecting, that the VST is not full of crap. Then once you get all that put together, then you can do your good compression test. I'm sure that motor's got great compression, but we won't know until after we get all this back together and I pull a compression test. And so the customer will know what he's got. I mean, it's coming clean. And this is not brake cleaner, this is carburetor cleaner. Seems like it's a little stronger. Trust me, I just sprayed some of my eyes. I was gonna go blind for a second. Y'all hear that noise? Like I said, I hadn't turned this motor over, so I guess that's just compression leaking a little bit. Try to trim it up a little and turn it. The key had been swapped on, and it probably pumped some of that bad fuel in that fuel rail, but I got a trick for it. I got one of them pulse generators, and I clean them out. You know, it's no big deal. Ordering some stuff today, ordering new VST pump off. I done cleaned it a little bit, but there's some gnarly looking stuff coming out of there. I done cleaned it best I could. Show y'all what's coming out. This is just the brake clean here, it's not the carburetor cleaner. All that rust and stuff right here. I mean, we're gonna get a new one. You know, this is a Yamaha equipment, but if you look, that is a Mitsubishi logo. And there's some numbers on there. So I'm gonna Google them numbers. 6Y24 by Mitsubishi and see if I can purchase this not with a Yamaha brand, because this is the original Yamaha. I just put their name on a box and send it to you. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cross-reference that 6Y24 Mitsubishi and see if I can find one. And I will let you know if the price is cheaper than the $463, I think, when I looked this morning. Just for the pump, the filter, which this one's destroyed, the O-ring that sets around this. I think a rubber bushing that goes here. It's got the bushing that goes in the bottom of the VST that holds the pump up in place. But if I can buy this part for a couple dollars, buy this for half price, being that it's not got a Yamaha logo on it, because I can get the pump kit off of eBay. It comes with this, the pump, the O-ring. It comes with another couple, I reckon this, and it comes with this. And there's another piece I pulled off here somewhere. I sprayed the carburetor cleaner in my eyes. Oh, there it is right here. And I throwed it and ran for cover. You can see some of the rust. There's nothing metal about this except for the pump housing itself, which is zinc, maybe a little galvanized. But the rust has got to be coming from the pump itself, nowhere else, because nothing else is carbon steel. all the lines and hoses, VST, everything's plastic or stainless. I sprayed this a minute ago with, and it's back white again. But I'm gonna try to do some better cleaning. It's real sticky once you spray it. So I'm figuring it's gonna come clean. I just gotta put some elbow grease in it. We got a brand new fuel pump here. I done put the filter on. The other fuel pump didn't have that little keeper. This looks a lot better shape than what the other one was. It comes with new wires, new bushings, rubber bushings. Got one inside of here. Good sealing. Put a little grease on them, lube them up. It was supposed to have came with a sealing gasket, but I reused this one. It wouldn't hurt. Put a little grease on it and got it lubed up pretty good. Got everything cleaned out real good. No more trash. Floats cleaned back up. All this stuff's ready to go. Put it together. See if I can get them Japanese screws back in there. I did get one new screw with it to get it all back together for the one that I messed up. Got this thing tore completely apart. Got the injectors pulled the plugs. Everything looked real good. I sprayed out the intake with some cleaner. It was real dirty in there. I reckon just carbon build up around the valve. The injectors were fairly clean. I guess the fuel rail didn't have none of the bad gas in it. We're gonna try to put the injectors on a pulse generator though and shoot some cleaner through them. Go ahead and clean them out though. So far everything's looking pretty good. I'm gonna do a 100-hour service on it whenever the supplies come in. That's gonna be plugs, a complete water pump assembly, seals, gear case oil. Yamaha recommended 100-hour service, and just like I said before, the owner don't know how many hours on it, but I'm almost certain 100% there ain't 100 hours on this boat. I went through it yesterday just looking at things. Everything looks pretty decent. I got the fuel tank out, got it cleaned out. It wasn't too bad, a little bit of water in it. Cleaned it out, stuck a rag down in there on a piece of TIG wire, scrubbed it pretty good. I put some acetone in it, cleaned it some more, and put some isopropyl alcohol in it, dry any kind of moisture up out of it, and put some fresh non-ethanol gas down in it, sloshed it around, rolled it back and forth, got it pretty clean. I did get in there after I pulled the fuel tank out. I know it's dirty. I'm gonna try to get some cleaner before I put it back in there, but I did suck a wheelbarrow load of leaves out of it. I'm probably gonna fix that right there where it's spliced. I got some brass bar fittings. I might actually just get a new section of hose and just put it in because it actually ties to the tank right there. VST's back together. Put a little grease around the O-ring here. Got all the hoses back on except for the one that goes to the fuel rail. Still got it off. I hadn't cleaned the injectors yet. I'm still waiting on a few things. Get some new O-rings. I think the kit comes with some clips. One of these clips were bent and I pulled it off. I hadn't pulled but one of them out. Like I said, whenever my stuff gets here, I'm gonna clean the injectors. The hose is good and clean. I done checked it. I pulled them out with my safe place so they wouldn't get dirty. But I'm not gonna install them today. I'm gonna leave them out for now. VST was very simple. I forgot where a few hoses went. And this one here, I thought I was missing a hose. But I went back and looked at one of my videos. It just sits there. It's actually got like a little check in there. You don't go nowhere. There's nothing else for it to hook to. So I pulled a diagram though. It's right. Everything's right. Fuel pump all went in real good. VST's real clean. Got both the wires buttoned back up pretty straight. They all get tied together. Once I get the intake back on, they get clipped off nice and neat. I got a O-ring and a new filter for this. I put fresh steel in there, just let it sit. Getting pretty close. Waiting on the plugs to come in with the kit. Everything looked nice and clean in there. I was gonna pull one of the anodes out, just look, but I don't. It's not time for it. Usually around 300 hours, something like that. You would change them out. I don't think this boat been in no salt water. There's no kind of salt water corrosion on it nowhere, so I'm not going to fool with them right now. So sacrificial anode under here, it wasn't bad at all. It's still fairly clean, so I don't think it's been in much salt water. Got a little rain today, not bad. Got a little water dripping out. I had to leave me some working room back here. I couldn't get the whole boat under here. Let me show you a little something. I thought it was something that I'd done. You see that line right there? And the line right there. It's not nothing that I've done. But I mean, new ones have come anyway. These are not hurt at all. Actually, I think these are the same exact spark plugs that goes in my Tohatsu. But you can push on it, and that crack will open a little bit, not much. Like I said, I got some parts coming. I'll get back with y'all here pretty shortly.